The planet Varelia shone like a jewel under its twin moons. From every corner of the empire, ships drifted through the glowing night sky toward the royal palace. Lights from thousands of lanterns painted the courtyard in golden hues. The air carried a mix of excitement, curiosity, and disbelief. An event like this had never happened in known history. Inside the palace stood the young Empress Luna, leader of Varelia. She was 22 years old, calm and graceful. Her long silver hair framed a face that looked both kind and strong. Yet behind those calm eyes was a secret most of her people did not understand. She was blind from birth. Despite her blindness, Luna ruled her empire with unmatched wisdom. She could sense things that others could not. She knew when someone lied. She could feel emotions without seeing faces. Her advisors often said she carried the sight of the soul, not of the eyes. Tonight, she prepared for her wedding. The hall was filled with nobles, soldiers, and alien envoys from other systems. The Varelian race was proud and elegant, known for their advanced science and beauty. Yet even among them, Luna stood apart. At the far end of the hall, a human stood nervously in a ceremonial robe. His name was Mark, a representative from Earth who had come to Varelia months ago for peace talks. He had expected only to discuss trade and alliances, not to marry an alien ruler. When Luna had chosen him, he had not understood why. He was not a soldier or a famous leader. He was a simple man with honest intentions and a steady heart. But the Empress had insisted that he was the one she wanted as the music began. The guests turned their gaze toward Luna. Two royal attendants guided her down the crystal steps. Her white gown shimmered like starlight. The gentle hum of alien instruments filled the air. When she reached Mark, she smiled, sensing his presence even before he spoke. "Are you afraid, Mark, of Earth?" she asked softly. He hesitated. "I am more confused than afraid, Your Majesty, but I am honored to stand here with you." She smiled again. "Then we share the same feeling. I am also confused by the path that brought us here, but my heart tells me this is right." The ceremony began. High priests of Varelia chanted ancient vows in their melodic language. Their voices echoed through the great hall, blending with the low hum of the palace energy core beneath the floor. When the final words were spoken, Luna and Mark touched hands. A faint light passed between them. The priests gasped. It was not part of the ritual. The glow came from their joined hands, a soft golden light that pulsed like a living heartbeat. Luna turned her head slightly, sensing something familiar in that warmth. "I can feel you," she whispered. "Not your body, but your spirit." Mark looked around, unsure if this was normal. The Varelian guests whispered among themselves. Some looked fearful, others amazed. The ceremony ended with the ringing of the twin moon bells. The empire now had a human as consort to its blind empress. After the celebration, Luna invited Mark to her private chamber. The room was quiet, lit only by the soft glow of blue crystals on the walls. The scent of starflower tea filled the air. Luna sat beside the window, facing the moons. "Do you find this world strange, Mark?" she asked. "It is beautiful," he replied. "But yes, it feels strange. I never thought I would marry someone from another species, especially someone as important as you." Luna turned her face toward him. Her white eyes reflected the twin moons. "Importance is only a title. I am a person like you. I only lead because I must. But tonight, I wanted something real. Not an alliance or a treaty. I wanted truth." He watched her carefully. "Truth." She nodded. "When I met you, I sensed something I had never felt before. A presence inside your mind that called to mine. It felt like recognition, as if we had known each other long ago." Mark felt his chest tighten. "You mean you think we met before?" "Not in this life," she said calmly. "In a deeper place, my blindness allows me to sense the patterns of life. I can feel energy as others see light. Yours feels familiar. It feels human, yet not entirely. It feels connected." He tried to understand, but the words made his mind spin. "You think there is something special between us?" "I know there is," she said with quiet certainty. The moment our hands touched during the ceremony, I felt a memory awaken inside me. Something ancient, something powerful. Mark leaned back, unsure if he should speak. He had heard stories about Varelian mysticism, about energy bonds and soul links, but he never believed in them. Yet tonight, under the twin moons, he could not deny what he felt. Before he could answer, a sudden knock came at the door. One of Luna's attendants entered, bowing deeply. "Your Majesty, the High Council requests your presence. They say the energy readings from the ceremony were abnormal." Luna's expression did not change. "Tell them I will come soon." The attendant bowed again and left. Mark frowned. "Do they not approve of this marriage?" "Some fear what they do not understand," Luna replied. "Humans are new to them. They see your kind as unpredictable. But I see something else. I see potential." He looked at her with growing respect. "You trust me, even though your own people doubt me?" She smiled faintly. "Trust is not something I give lightly. But when I sense someone's spirit, I know their truth. Yours is honest." Mark lowered his gaze. "Then I promise I will not betray that trust. Then we will face what comes together." Later that night, when the palace had grown quiet, Luna walked barefoot through the corridors. She followed the sound of the energy core beneath the floor. The hum was stronger tonight, almost alive. She stopped near a tall mirror. Although she could not see, she placed her hands on the surface and felt the vibration of power through the glass. Her mind filled with strange images. A vast city of light. Figures of both humans and Varelians standing side by side. A great war that had ended long ago. And then the image of a human hand reaching toward her. The same warmth she felt when Mark touched her. She whispered to herself, "The bond has returned." Far across the hall, Mark stood by the balcony staring at the moons. The night breeze carried the faint sound of the ocean that surrounded the palace. He felt both peace and unease. Something about Luna's words kept repeating in his mind. A bond, a memory, a connection older than time. He turned when he heard footsteps. Luna entered, moving gracefully, even without sight. She reached for him, and he helped her to the balcony. "Can you feel it too?" she asked quietly. He hesitated, then nodded. "When I touched your hand, I felt something like a heartbeat that wasn't mine. It was like the world stopped for a moment." "That is the energy of life," she said softly. "I see through it. I see every soul like a light in the dark. Yours shines brightest." Mark looked at her with awe. "How do you live without seeing the world? Without knowing what your people or your stars look like?" She smiled. "I may not see the world as you do, but I feel it in ways you cannot imagine. Every sound, every heartbeat, every breath tells me a story. The universe speaks to those who listen. I listen." He stood silently beside her, realizing that her blindness was not a weakness but a different kind of vision. Below them, the city lights flickered as the energy of the palace pulsed again. Far in the distance, a strange red glow appeared in the sky, faint but growing. Luna turned her head slightly. "Something is changing. The energy of this world is waking." Mark followed her gaze. "Is it dangerous?" "I do not know yet," she said. "But it began the moment we were joined." The air grew still. For a brief second, he thought he heard whispers in the wind, voices in a language he did not know. Luna's expression remained calm, but her fingers tightened around his hand. "Stay close to me," she said. "Whatever this bond is, it is not only ours. It belongs to something greater." As the twin moons climbed higher in the sky, their light bathed the balcony in silver. The Empress and the humans stood together, unaware that their union had set in motion forces older than any empire. The stars above flickered as if watching them, and somewhere deep within the palace walls, the ancient power of Varelia stirred once again. The night was far from over, and neither of them yet knew that the light they shared would soon reveal a truth. It could change the fate of both their worlds forever. The morning after the wedding arrived, with soft, golden light pouring through the crystal windows of the palace. The twin suns rose slowly over the silver sea, casting ripples of brightness across the city of Varelia. The people celebrated the dawn of a new era. Some called it the beginning of peace between species. Others whispered that the union of the Empress and the human would bring danger. Inside the royal chambers, Luna sat quietly near the window. She was listening to the wind. Her fingers moved gently over the surface of a small metal sphere that floated beside her. It was a device that translated energy waves into sound. She used it to sense the rhythm of the world. Mark entered the room, wearing the dark robe of a foreign dignitary. He carried 2 cups of warm tea. He placed one beside her and smiled. "I thought you might like this. I asked your servants for something mild." She turned her face toward him, her unseeing eyes calm. "You are thoughtful." "Thank you, Mark." He sat down across from her. "Everyone seems happy outside, but I feel tension in the air. Your guards look nervous. Even your council seems uneasy." "They are afraid of what they do not understand," Luna said softly. "When 2 energies merge, change follows. They fear that change." Mark took a sip of tea. "Do you really believe that the light we saw during the ceremony means something?" Luna nodded slowly. "Yes, that light was not from the ritual. It came from within us. I felt your life energy. It connected to mine, as if it had been waiting for that moment." Mark leaned forward, curious. "Is that something common among your people?" She shook her head. "No, it has never happened before. The Varelians have studied energy for centuries. They can measure it, control it, and use it for machines. But feeling it as I do is rare. I was born with this gift, though I do not know why. My blindness gave me something else in return. I feel the living essence of others. When I touched you, that essence reacted as if we were 2 halves of one current." Her words made Mark think deeply. He had always believed that science explained everything. Yet sitting beside Luna, he felt something beyond reason. Her calm voice carried a truth that he could not deny. Before he could respond, a sound echoed from the corridor. The doors opened, and an elderly alien with pale blue skin entered. He wore long robes covered in golden symbols. It was Aaron, the High Advisor of the Council. "Your Majesty," Aaron said respectfully, though his tone carried tension. "The Council requests your presence. The energy surge from last night has caused strange readings across the city. The scientists fear it may disrupt our core systems." Luna stood, her movements graceful. "I will come. But Mark will accompany me." Aaron hesitated. "The council meeting is for Varelians only." She turned her head slightly toward him. "He is my consort and a representative of Earth. His presence is not optional." The advisor bowed, though his eyes showed unease. "As you command, Empress." Mark followed Luna through the bright corridors. The walls of the palace pulsed faintly with light as if alive. He noticed small orbs floating along the ceiling, recording everything. Luna seemed to move effortlessly, guided by invisible awareness rather than sight. When they entered the council chamber, a group of 12 elders sat around a circular table. They looked serious and wary. A large screen above them displayed a map of Varelia, filled with glowing red lines that shifted across the city. One of the elders, a woman named Taryn, spoke sharply. "Your Majesty, these readings began during your wedding. The energy level of the palace increased tenfold. Our instruments cannot identify the source. We believe it may be connected to your union with the human." Mark stood still beside Luna. He could feel the weight of many eyes upon him. Luna's voice was calm but firm. "The energy you sense is not a threat. It is life awakening. I can feel it across the planet. The core of Varelia has been silent for ages, but now it breathes again." Taryn frowned. "You speak of the planetary consciousness. That is myth, not science." "It is not myth," Luna said quietly. "Varelia is alive. Every star, every world holds a soul. We have forgotten that truth." Another elder rose. "If this is true, then why now? Why does it happen when a human touches our Empress?" Mark spoke for the first time. "I do not know why this is happening, but I swear I have done nothing to harm this world. I came here for peace." Euron looked at him with narrow eyes. "Perhaps peace is not what fate intends." The room grew tense. Luna stepped forward, placing her hand on the table. "Enough. I will not allow fear to rule this council." Whatever this energy is, it has chosen to awaken. I will study it myself. After the meeting, Luna and Mark walked through the palace garden. The tall trees glowed faintly with bioluminescent light. Strange birds sang with metallic voices. The air felt thick with quiet power. Mark broke the silence. Do you think they will accept me? I could feel their distrust. Luna shook her head slowly. It will take time. My people respect strength, not trust. They have fought many wars to survive. When they see something unknown, they prepare to fight it. Do you think they will fight us? He asked softly. She paused. Not yet, but they will watch closely. They stopped near a fountain shaped like a spiral of stars. The water shimmered with golden dust. Luna knelt beside it and touched the surface. Ripples spread outward, forming patterns of light. She turned her head toward him. Mark, do you believe in destiny? I used to think destiny was just a story people told themselves, he said. But after meeting you, I am not sure anymore. Her lips curved into a faint smile. Good, because what we are part of may be older than either of our worlds. As they sat by the fountain, a soft pulse moved through the ground. The water shimmered brighter. Luna gasped quietly, sensing a wave of warmth flowing beneath the palace. It is happening again, she whispered. The energy is spreading. Mark looked around. Should we call someone? No, she said quickly. Stay still. Listen. He closed his eyes and focused. At first, he heard only the sound of the fountain. Then he felt it, the same warmth he had felt during the wedding, but stronger. It spread from his chest, through his arms, and when Luna took his hand, the light returned. The golden glow surrounded them both. The nearby flowers opened their petals wide, reacting to the energy. The air hummed softly, as if the entire garden was alive. Luna's voice trembled slightly. Do you feel it too? Yes, he said, amazed. It feels like the world is breathing with us. She nodded. The connection is growing. We are awakening something that has slept for centuries. Suddenly, a distant alarm sounded from within the palace. Guards rushed across the garden. One of them stopped before Luna, bowing deeply. Your Majesty, the energy surge has reached the city core. Machines are responding on their own. Lights are forming in the sky. Luna rose to her feet. Prepare my transport. I must go to the core chamber. Mark stepped forward. I'm coming with you. She did not argue. Then stay close. They entered a sleek transport vessel that floated above the ground. As it moved through the city, Mark looked out the window and saw streams of light running across buildings like veins of gold. The people watched from the streets in awe and fear. When they reached the core tower, scientists and guards filled the area. Screens flickered with unreadable data. The central chamber glowed with bright lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. Luna walked forward, ignoring the warnings of the guards. Let me feel it, she said. Iran appeared again, anxious. Your Majesty, the core is unstable. You must not go near it. Mark followed, his hand ready to pull her back if needed. When Luna reached the center, she extended her hands. The air vibrated around her. The glowing patterns responded to her touch, forming shapes like constellations. She spoke softly, her voice steady. It knows me. It remembers, Iran shouted. What do you mean? She turned her head toward him. The core is not a machine. It is alive. It carries memory. The chamber lights dimmed, and a low hum filled the air. The scientists backed away in fear. Then a sudden burst of energy spread outward. Luna collapsed, and Mark caught her before she hit the floor. Her breathing was shallow, but she was alive. The golden glow surrounded them again, stronger than ever. When her eyes opened, they shone faintly with light. I saw it, she whispered. A memory of our worlds joined long ago. Mark held her gently. What did you see? A bridge between humans and Varelians, she said weakly. A connection that once bound our species together. The Council erased it from history, but now it returns through us. The guards and scientists stood in silence. Iran looked shocked, unsure whether to believe or fear her words. Mark lifted her carefully and said, We need to get you back to the palace. She shook her head. No, the truth is here. I must understand it. This bond between us is not chance. It is destiny waking again. The energy in the chamber slowly faded. The golden light dimmed, leaving only the soft sound of the machines returning to normal. But everyone knew something had changed as they left the core tower. The people outside knelt when they saw the glow still faintly around their empress. Luna raised her hand toward them. Do not fear. The light is not our enemy. It is the voice of our ancestors. It has chosen to speak again. Mark looked at her with awe. He did not fully understand what had happened, but he knew one thing. The universe had just opened a door that could never be closed again. The night would soon come. But this time, the stars themselves seemed to pulse with the pent. The palace of Aurelia stood silent after the strange event at the energy core. The glowing lights had faded, but the tension in the air remained. Guards whispered in the corridors, scientists worked without rest, and the council gathered in secret. Every citizen had seen the sky change colors that night. Many believed it was a sign of the gods returning, while others feared it was a warning. In her chamber, Empress Luna sat quietly with her hands folded in her lap. Her body was weak from the energy surge, yet her spirit was calm. Beside her stood Mark, watching her with concern. You should rest, he said softly. The doctor said, your body needs time to recover. Luna smiled faintly. Rest will not change what has begun. The energy has awakened, and now it will not sleep again. Mark frowned. What exactly did you see in the core? You said something about a bridge between our species. She nodded. Yes. When the energy touched me, I saw visions. Long ago, humans and Virians shared a bond. They worked together, building cities across the stars. They created harmony between worlds. But something happened. The bond was broken, and our histories were rewritten. The council hid this truth from the people. Mark felt a chill. If that's true, why would they hide it? Because power fears equality, Luna said quietly. If humans and Varelians once stood together as equals, then the idea of separation becomes a lie. The council has ruled for centuries by claiming our species as superior in wisdom and spirit. To reveal the truth would shatter their authority. Before Mark could reply, the door slid open. 2 armored guards stepped inside, followed by High Advisor Iran and Counselor Taran. Their expressions were stern. Your Majesty, Iran said formally, the council demands a private audience. Luna turned her face toward him. Then speak. You are already here. Iran hesitated, glancing at Mark. We wish to speak without the human. Luna's voice hardened. He will stay. He is my consort, and has every right to hear what his empress hears. The room fell silent for a moment before Taran stepped forward. Very well. Then he will also hear our warning. The council is deeply disturbed by the events of last night. The energy you released could have destroyed the core. You risked the safety of the entire planet. Luna's calm tone did not change. The core was not harmed. It responded to life, not danger. It recognized us. Iran's voice grew sharp. Recognized you? Do you hear yourself, Luna? You speak as if a machine can think. She rose slowly from her seat, her white eyes glowing faintly. It is not a machine. It is alive. Our ancestors created it not as a tool, but as a heart for this world. The core remembers the unity of humans and Varelians. That is why it reacted to Mark and me. Taran shook her head. You are letting imagination cloud your judgment. You have allowed this human to influence your mind. You are no longer thinking as an empress. Mark stepped forward, anger rising. She is thinking clearly. You just refuse to listen because it threatens your power. The guards moved instantly, their weapons ready, but Luna raised her hand. Stand down. He speaks truth. Iran looked at her with disbelief. Do you hear what you are saying? You defy the council for a human. This cannot continue. The stability of the empire is at risk. Luna took a slow breath. Then you must decide what kind of empire you wish to protect. One built on fear and lies, or one built on truth and unity. Iron's expression darkened. If you continue on this path, the council will have no choice but to act. Luna tilted her head slightly. Are you threatening your Empress? Terran stepped forward quickly. We are warning you, not threatening you. The energy surge caused panic across the city. If you continue to provoke such events, the people may lose faith. The council cannot allow that. Luna's voice was calm, but her words carried strength. Then tell them the truth. Tell them what their ancestors once knew, Euron said coldly. The truth you speak of has no proof. Only your word and the word of this human. The council cannot accept it. Luna smiled faintly. Then I will find proof myself. Without another word, the council members turned and left. The guards followed them, leaving silence behind. Mark sighed. They are afraid of you, Luna said softly. They are afraid of change. She walked toward the balcony, the morning wind brushing against her silver hair. Below, the city shimmered in the sunlight. Mark, this world was built on control. The council keeps the people obedient by limiting what they know. But the core's awakening means that control is breaking. He stood beside her. Then what will you do? I will go to the Hall of Origins, she said. It is the oldest structure on Virilia. If there are records of the ancient bond between our species, they will be there. I'm going with you, he said, without hesitation. She smiled. I knew you would say that. Later that day, they traveled by air vessel across the golden plains that surrounded the capital. The Hall of Origins stood at the edge of a vast desert, half buried in sand. It was older than any known city, made of dark stone carved with glowing lines that pulsed faintly like veins as they entered the main hall. A low hum echoed through the chamber. The walls were covered with ancient symbols, a mix of human and Varelian language. Luna moved slowly, her fingers tracing the carvings. I can feel the energy here. It is the same as the core. Mark held a small scanner from his pocket. These symbols are part of an ancient database. I can try to decode them. As he worked, Luna stood silently, her head slightly tilted. She whispered, There are voices. They are faint but familiar. Mark paused. Voices. Yes, she said. They speak of creation, of partnership, of unity. The scanner beeped softly, and a holographic image appeared before them. It showed two figures standing together, one human and one Varelian, holding a glowing sphere between them. Words appeared beneath the image, the alliance of life, the first bond. Mark stared at the projection in disbelief. This is it. Proof that our species once worked together. Luna smiled gently. Now they cannot deny the truth. Before they could study further, footsteps echoed behind them. The door opened and soldiers entered. Euron followed, his face hard. Step away from the relics, he ordered. This site is restricted. Luna turned toward him. By whose order? By mine, he replied. You were not given permission to be here. The council has decided that your rule is suspended until further notice. You are to return to the palace immediately. Mark stepped in front of Luna. You can't do that. She is your empress. Iron's eyes burned with anger. She was our empress. Now she is a danger. Take them both. The soldiers moved forward. Mark grabbed Luna's hand. We have to go. She nodded, and together they ran toward the side passage. The guards fired stun blasts that lit the dark hall with bright flashes. Mark ducked behind a pillar, pulling Luna with him. This way, she whispered, pointing toward a narrow corridor. Though she could not see, she moved as if guided by instinct. They ran through winding tunnels until they reached an open chamber beneath the hall. A beam of light from above shone on a massive crystal sphere, floating in the air. It pulsed with golden energy, the same light they had felt before. Luna stopped, breathing deeply. It is calling to me again. Luna, wait, Mark said, but she stepped forward and touched the sphere. A wave of warmth filled the room. The walls lit up with ancient symbols. Images of humans and Varelians appeared, building cities, sharing knowledge, standing as one. Then came images of war, fire, and separation. The final image showed the crystal being sealed beneath the sand. Luna's voice trembled. They destroyed the bond to keep power for themselves. The council's ancestors betrayed the unity. Mark looked around in awe. This is the proof the people need. Yes, Luna said, but we must survive long enough to show them. The soldiers' voices echoed from above, shouting commands. Mark looked toward the tunnel. They are coming. Luna took his hand. Then we must trust the energy. Before he could ask what she meant, the golden light surrounded them again. The air shimmered, and the sound of rushing wind filled their ears. In a flash, they vanished from the chamber. When the light faded, they found themselves standing in a quiet forest far from the city. The twin suns hung low in the sky, and the trees glowed faintly in the evening light. Mark looked around, stunned. How did we get here? The energy moved us, Luna said softly. It protects us. It wants us to finish what was lost. Mark looked at her, his heart racing. Then we'll finish it together. Luna turned toward the distant horizon where the capital shimmered faintly in the distance. The council will not stop. They will hunt us, but truth has already begun to rise. The bond has awakened, and nothing can silence it now. As the stars appeared in the sky, the Empress and the humans stood side by side, ready to face whatever came next. The unity of two worlds once broken by fear was beginning to live again through them. The path ahead was uncertain, but the light within them grew stronger with every step. The forest was quiet as the twin suns sank below the horizon. The golden glow of Varelia faded, leaving only the soft shimmer of bioluminescent trees. Luna and Mark stood among the roots and vines, listening to the pulse of life that surrounded them. The air was thick with energy, as if the planet itself was breathing. Luna closed her eyes. I can feel it everywhere, she whispered. The energy of the world, the memories of those who came before. It is awakening. Mark knelt beside her. What is it telling you? That humans and Varelians were once linked, she said slowly. Our ancestors shared knowledge, strength, and vision. The bond was powerful enough to shape galaxies, yet it was destroyed by fear. He looked at her, puzzled. Destroyed by fear? Yes, she said. The council feared equality. They hid the truth, and in doing so, they broke the link. But now it is returning. And you, Mark, are the key to its revival. Me, she nodded. Your presence awakened the dormant energy within me. The connection that once existed between our species flows through you as well. He shook his head. I do not understand. I am just a human. What can I do? Do not underestimate yourself, Luna said firmly. Humans carry the memory of what we once were. Your species helped build this galaxy. Your mind holds the seed of our old alliance. The forest began to glow brighter as she spoke. Mark could feel the warmth spreading from the ground into his chest. The pulse of life that Luna had described was growing stronger. It wrapped around them both like a living force. Luna raised her hands. I can sense the pattern now. I can feel the old architecture of thought, of creation. If we combine our minds, we may awaken the full potential of this energy. Mark reached out his hand to hers. The moment they touched, a surge of golden light flowed between them. Images filled Mark's mind. He saw cities of shining towers, bridges connecting planets, and humans and Varians working side by side. He saw children of both species learning from each other, playing among the stars. It is beautiful, he whispered. But it is all gone now, No, Luna said softly. It is not gone. It sleeps, waiting to return. That is why the core reacted to us. That is why the energy moved us here. Mark looked around the forest. The trees seemed to lean closer, their leaves glowing brighter. The energy of the world wrapped around them, alive and aware. We need to find the heart of this power, Luna said. It is hidden, protected from those who would misuse it. The Hall of Origins was only a doorway. The real source lies deeper. They moved through the forest, guided by Luna's intuition. She reached out with her hands, sensing the vibrations of life. Every root, every stone, every creature carried a memory. She could feel the whisper of ancient Varelians and humans alike. After hours of walking, they reached a wide clearing. In the center stood a massive crystal, taller than any tree. Golden veins ran through it, pulsating with a rhythm that matched Luna's heartbeat. "This is it," she said. "The core of our bond." Mark stepped closer, awe on his face. "It is alive." "I can feel it too," Luna nodded. "The energy will respond to our thoughts, our intentions. It will show us the truth of our species and the reason for this bond." They both placed their hands on the crystal. A wave of light passed through them. Mark felt his mind open in ways he had never imagined. He could see the memories of humans who had once traveled among the stars with the Varelians. He saw the joy of cooperation, the excitement of discovery, and the wisdom of shared knowledge. Luna's voice guided him. "Focus on the connection. Remember what our ancestors achieved together. Feel the energy of unity, not separation." Mark closed his eyes and let the images flow. The golden light grew stronger, surrounding their bodies. The forest itself seemed to lean toward the crystal, as if the planet was joining in the awakening. Suddenly, a sharp vibration shook the ground. Luna gasped. "They are coming." Mark opened his eyes. In the distance, soldiers of the council were approaching. Iran led them, his expression hard and determined. "We must protect the crystal," Luna said. "It cannot fall into their hands." Mark nodded. "Then we fight." They turned to face the approaching guards. Luna's hands glowed faintly, a ripple of energy forming around her. Mark felt the energy within him respond. Though he had no experience with such power, he felt a connection. A guidance that came from the bond they shared. The first soldier raised his weapon, but the golden energy pulsed outward. He stopped, stunned, unable to move. Luna's voice was calm. "You will not harm this place." One by one, the soldiers froze. The energy responded to Luna's will, but Mark realized it also responded to him. Together, their bond amplified the power. Iran shouted. "Step back. This is not natural." "It is as natural as life itself," Luna said softly. "You have only forgotten it." Mark reached out, touching the crystal again. A vision appeared before them. He saw a human child handing a glowing sphere to a young Varelian. They smiled at each other, their eyes bright with trust. The vision expanded, showing countless humans and Varelians sharing knowledge, building great cities, and exploring the stars together. The bond was never broken, Luna whispered. Only hidden. Now it is returning. Iran fell to his knees, overwhelmed by the energy. "Impossible," he muttered. Luna's voice rang clearly. "You cannot stop what is awakening. The truth belongs to all, not to a few who seek control." The soldiers began to retreat, their weapons useless against the combined energy of the Empress and the human. The golden light around Luna and Mark grew brighter, forming a protective dome that extended beyond the clearing. Mark felt a sudden surge of understanding. He could see how the energy of humans and Varelians once complemented each other. Humans brought curiosity, creativity, and adaptability. Varelians brought wisdom, patience, and harmony. Together, they could shape the future of the galaxy. Luna turned to him. "Do you understand now, Mark?" He nodded. "We are meant to bring this back. Together," she said. "But first, we must awaken the people. They need to see that humans are not outsiders, and Varelians are not rulers. We must restore equality." Mark looked at the golden lights surrounding them. "How do we do that?" "By showing them the proof," Luna said. "By standing together and letting the energy speak through us." The crystal pulsed one last time, sending a wave of warmth across the forest. Trees swayed, leaves shimmered, and small creatures stirred. The planet itself seemed to acknowledge the bond. Luna lowered her hands. "The awakening has begun, but this is only the start. The Council will try to stop us. They will try to control the narrative, to turn fear against us. We must be ready." Mark placed his hand over hers. "We will be ready. Whatever comes, we face it together." She smiled faintly. "The energy has chosen us for this purpose. We are not alone. It flows through all life, guiding us toward unity." As night fell, the golden glow of the crystal faded, leaving only a soft light that reflected the stars above. Luna and Mark stood together, feeling the strength of the bond and the weight of the responsibility ahead. The galaxy had begun to awaken to a new truth, and the path of humans and Varelians was about to change forever. For the first time in centuries, hope returned to Varelia. Not as a promise from the Council, but as a force that could not be controlled or hidden. And in that moment, Luna and Mark knew that their bond was the key to unlocking it. The stars sparkled above them, brighter than ever, as if cheering for the union of two species that had once shaped the universe together. The city of Varelia awoke under the light of the twin moons, but it felt different than any morning before. A quiet hum of energy moved through the streets, almost like the city itself had taken a deep breath. Citizens peeked from their windows and terraces, sensing something new, something powerful. Whispers filled the air. Some called it a blessing. Others feared it. In a hidden forest far from the capital, Luna and Mark prepared for their return. The crystal from the Hall of Origins had granted them visions and strength. The energy of the planet flowed through them, connecting them in ways deeper than either could explain. Luna had regained not only the memory of the ancient alliance, but a new understanding of her own abilities. She could perceive life energy on a scale she had never imagined. Mark had begun to sense it too. "We cannot wait any longer," Luna said, her voice firm but calm. "The Council will attempt to rewrite the story again. They must see the truth for themselves." Mark nodded. "Then we go to the city. We show them everything." They traveled in silence, the golden energy surrounding them as they approached the capital. The streets were eerily quiet. Guards patrolled carefully, unaware that the bond between the human and the blind Empress had grown stronger than any force they could oppose. When they reached the palace, the council was already assembled. Iran and Terran waited in the grand hall, their faces pale. They had heard rumors of a strange light moving across the city and were terrified of what it might mean. Luna stepped forward, her hands glowing faintly. Mark stood beside her, the golden energy radiating from him in waves. "You feared the power of the bond," she said softly, "but you were wrong. It is not destruction. It is truth." Iran's voice shook. "This is impossible. A human cannot wield such energy." "I am not wielding it alone," Luna said. "We share it. Humans and Varelians were always connected. The bond existed before your ancestors tried to destroy it. The energy's awakening because it has chosen its rightful carriers." She raised her hands, and the golden light spread across the hall. Symbols from the Hall of Origins appeared in the air, floating like stars. The images showed humans and Varelians standing together, building cities, exploring worlds, and sharing knowledge. The holograms moved and shifted, showing the full story that had been hidden for centuries. Mark reached out and touched the light. In an instant, he could feel the connection of every human and Varelian ancestor who had walked this path. The energy showed him the courage, wisdom, and unity that had once existed between their species. He felt hope, pride, and a responsibility heavier than any he had known. The council members stepped back. Overwhelmed by the power and clarity of the vision, Iran tried to speak but found his voice gone. Terran's hands trembled as she reached out to touch one of the floating symbols. When she did, she gasped. The truth was undeniable. This is real," Terran whispered. "The bond? Our ancestors lied to us," as Luna said. "They feared equality. They erased the history that could unite our peoples. But it cannot be hidden any longer. The energy remembers. It cannot lie. It speaks only truth." Iran sank to his knees, his face pale. "All this time, we were wrong. We kept humans in the shadows, treating them as outsiders. We denied the truth." Luna stepped closer, her presence calm and commanding. "You cannot undo what has been done, but you can choose what happens next. Will you continue the path of fear and control, or will you embrace the unity that was always meant to be?" The council members looked at each other, fear and awe mixed in their expressions. Finally, one of the elders, a wise figure named Sira, spoke. "If this is true, then humans and Varelians are meant to work together. We cannot ignore the evidence. It is the choice of the universe, not our own." "Yes," Luna said softly, "and the choice must be made now." Will you accept the bond or deny it? Iran remained silent, struggling with centuries of pride and tradition. Slowly, he lowered his head. We accept the bond, he said finally. The truth cannot be denied. We have been blind to what was always possible. The golden light in the hall brightened as if the planet itself had acknowledged the decision. Citizens outside could feel the energy radiating from the palace. Murmurs of awe spread through the city. Some knelt in reverence. Others ran to see what had caused the change. Luna turned to Mark. The energy is fully awake now. The bond is complete. Mark felt the warmth flow through him. He could see the threads of connection between every life on Varelia and the distant humans still in space. The galaxy was alive in ways he had never imagined. The shocking truth is not that humans have power, Luna said. It is that humans have always shared it with us. We were never separate. The energy, the knowledge, the courage, it has always been part of both species. That is why we survived, and why we can rise stronger than ever. Mark looked at her, awe in his eyes. So all this time, humanity was never insignificant? Never, Luna said firmly. The universe created humans and Varelians to be partners. Together, we can rebuild what was lost, explore new worlds, and create a galaxy of cooperation and understanding. Outside the palace, a cheer rose from the citizens as the golden light touched them. Humans and Varelians alike felt the bond stirring within them. For the first time in centuries, the people understood that they were connected, that the history they had been told was only part of the story, and that together they held the power to shape the future. The twin moons rose high. Casting their silver light across the city, Luna raised her hands toward the sky. Let all beings see the truth. Let them feel the bond that unites us. Mark stepped beside her. We will show them how to honor it. Together. The energy around them pulsed like a heartbeat. Images appeared across the palace walls, showing the unity of humans and Varelians, building great cities, sharing knowledge, and exploring the stars. Citizens wept with joy, some laughed, and others bowed in respect. Iran and the council watched silently, humbled by what they had witnessed. Their fear was replaced by understanding. They realized that their attempts to control history had failed, and that the energy of life, truth, and connection was far stronger than any law they could impose. Luna turned toward the council. From this moment forward, humans and Varelians walk together as equals. The bond is our strength, not a threat. Those who embrace it will guide our future. Those who resist will find that the universe does not bend to fear, only to truth. Mark placed a hand on her shoulder. We do not need to fight. The energy will guide us. It has chosen us to lead, but not alone. Every being who feels it can carry the same light. The council slowly knelt, acknowledging her words. The citizens cheered louder, their voices carrying into the night. The twin moons reflected on the golden light, as if the heavens themselves celebrated the awakening. Luna smiled faintly at Mark. The bond has returned. The shocking truth is clear. Humanity was never powerless. Together, we are unstoppable. Mark smiled back. Then let us begin. The golden light spread across the city, reaching beyond the walls, touching the skies, the seas, and the distant planets where humans and Varelians once stood together. The memory of the ancient alliance became alive again, flowing through everyone who believed in unity. Luna turned toward the palace balcony, addressing the citizens. You have seen the truth. The council cannot hide it. Humans and Varelians are equals. The bond is real, and it is the foundation of our future. Walk forward with it, and the galaxy will thrive. The citizens erupted in applause. Humans and Varelians embraced, laughed, and cried together. Stories of cooperation and exploration were shared. A new era began. Iran and the other council members knelt, humbled and grateful. Sira approached Luna. You have shown us a vision we could never imagine. We were wrong to hide it. We pledge our loyalty to the bond, to you, and to Mark.
Ow.
Luna nodded. Then let the age of unity begin. Mark placed his hand over hers. We are ready. The twin moons rose higher, reflecting on the golden glow that surrounded them. For the first time, the galaxy could feel hope. Humans and Varelians stood together, their bond stronger than any fear, stronger than any law, stronger than any history that had tried to separate them. Luna smiled at Mark. We have awakened the galaxy. The truth is no longer hidden. The bond is ours to protect, to grow, and to share. Mark nodded. And we will together. The stars above shone brighter than ever. The galaxy had changed, and nothing could ever turn back the clock. The shocking truth was revealed, the bond was restored. And the people of Varelia and Earth finally understood the strength and potential of their unity. A new era had begun. And it belonged to those who dared to embrace the power of connection, the courage of understanding. In the vision of two species standing together as one, Luna and Mark stood on the balcony, hands clasped, feeling the pulse of life that flowed through every being around them. The twin moons cast their light on the city below, and for the first time, the galaxy felt complete. They had fulfilled a destiny that had waited for centuries, and the story of humans and Varelians would never be forgotten again.